Mr. Easwaran Anantram, a graduate of the Class 10 batch at Srimati Sulochana Devi School in 2004, is a professional flautist with over 2 decades of experience. Having performed at events like the Kala Ghoda Arts Fest and Times Lit Fest, Mr. Anantram shares his passion for music on various occasions. His flair of languages is one among several of his academic interests. On the corporate front, he has specialized in operations management, in packaging and printing technology, and has worked in similar fields of expertise. So let us put our hands together for Mr. Anantram.
हेलो, थोड़ा रिवर्ब मिलेगा इसके लिए? नमस्कारम एवरीवन. सो ये पुनीत का स्पीच थोड़ा हेवी हो गया, मैं जानता हूँ. वो मैं कोशिश करूँगा कि आपका मतलब इतना हेवी नहीं जाए. सो आई ट्राई माई बेस्ट दैट माई टॉपिक इजंट दैट हेवी फॉर यू. सो I mean, they've over-introduced me, I guess. I'm not that much of a big shot, but I'm a student of music, and I basically have been learning music for around 20 years. And in my journey of learning music, I came across this wonderful language called Sanskrit. And I'm going to present to you this beautiful language in a way that you have definitely noticed it, but you have not noticed the nuances of this incredible language the way I see it. And I'm going to try my best that I present before you this language from my perspective. So here goes. Let me ask you this. They made me write a speech, so I'm reading from the speech. I can do it extempore, but बहुत मेहनत लगा है लिखने में. Let me ask you this. Have you ever felt that certain languages don't just communicate, but sing? Their words seem to carry a melody, and their sentences flow like poetry, and their rhythm feels very innate. For me, all Indic languages, that is, languages that are very native to the Indian subcontinent, fit this idea perfectly. At the heart of these languages is Sanskrit, which we call as the mother of all languages. So it's not just the mother of languages for some random reason. It is not just shaped grammar of all the languages that we speak in India, but also the rhythm in it. So today we are going to explore that rhythm. So before I continue, I'm going to play a small piece. If you know what it is, I want you to hum along with me, okay? बताइए. ये तो सबको पता ही होगा. This is the Mahishasura-mardini Stotram, written by Adi Shankaracharya. It embodies a lot of meaning, a lot of expression. The entire story of Ma Mahishasura-mardini is in this stotra in poetry form. So I have something else for you. This Morse code. Does this Morse code make sense to you? Yes or no? जोर से सब लोग. Good. This will thank you. This will by the end of this presentation. So I've already introduced myself. So now I want you to imagine this, okay? This is a scene that is going on. Shiva is sitting on top of Kailasa, snow everywhere, and he is in meditation. Around him, the seven rishis, Saptarishi, are standing. They are seated in reverence. They are bowing down to him, waiting for him to open his eyes, give them something to take back. Suddenly, Shiva gets up, picks up his damru, and beats that small two-sided drum. 14 times he strikes it, 14 times. And there are some weird sounds that are produced. And down in the foothills, Panini, the ancient grammarian, listens very intently. These are no ordinary sounds. They carry within them the secret structure of the entire universe. Panini captures these vibrations in what we now know as the Maheshwara Sutra. These 14 sounds organize all possible sounds of Sanskrit in these, and these 14 sounds are the very foundation of Sanskrit. Now, these are the 14 sounds that are there. Again, do these sounds in any way look like rhythmic? Just read them. Do they look rhythmic? Now, this is how they sound. A, I, un, ril, rik, e, yung, I, ouch, haya, varat, lanya, mangananam, jabhanya, ghadadash, jabagadash, khapa, chata, tha, chata, tau, kapai, shashasar, hal. These 14 sounds right out of Shiva's Damru. This is exactly how they sound. I, un, ril, rik, e, yung, I, ouch, haya, varat, lanyam, gananam, jabhanya, ghadadash, jabagadash, khapa, chata, ta, chata, tau, kapai, shashasar, hal. So these 14 sounds, so rhythmic, we never knew that the consonants and the vowels could be arranged in this way. And this is how, in his Ashtadhyayi, Panini has mentioned the very foundation of Sanskrit. So even in its functional utility, the Maheshwara Sutra resonates like poetry. It is as if the sounds themselves are dancing in a reminder that Sanskrit is as much as it is rhythm as it is about meaning. So this is, again, a beautiful story of Patanjali Muni, and the final Chandas that I'll definitely is one of the most beautiful Chandas, describes the grandeur of the Devi. So the Devi, she has her own beauty attached to it, and the name of this Chandas is called Kanaka Malika. There's one more name to it called Kusuma Manjari. And this is from, again, Shankaracharya's Devi Navaratna Malika. This goes, Hara Nupura Kirita Kundala Vibhushita Vayava Shobhinim Karanesha Varamauli Koti Parikalpyamana Padapithikam Kala Kala Phanipasha Bana Dhanurankusham Aruna Mekhalam Phala Bhutilakalochana Manasi Bhavayami Paradevatam. Na 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 na. Let's do it. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Kala kala phani pasha bana dhanurankusham aruna mekhalam phala bhutilakalocanam manasi bhavayami paradevatam. I'm not even singing. I'm just reciting. If you put tune to it, it sounds 3 times more beautiful. I mean, for example, Kala Kala Phani Pasha Bhana Dhanurankushamaruna Mekhalam Phala Bhutilakalocanam Manasi Bhavayami Paradevatam. Beautiful piece of poetry. But Chandas is just one small aspect of Sanskrit's poetic brilliance. Its phonetic richness, the very sounds, the root sounds have meaning to it. And they are not just carriers of ideas, they are sounds imbued with energy and rhythm in it. The characteristic has inspired poetic traditions of every other Indic languages, be it Hindi, be it Marathi. So, I used to, in 10th standard, we had this book called Kavya Kanan, and there was this poetry by Mahadevi Verma called Jag Tujhko Dur Jana. It is also in a beautiful Chandas. जाग तुझको दूर जाना अचल हिमगिर के हृदय में आज चाहे कंप हो ले या प्रलय के आंसुओं में मौन अलसित व्योम रोले आज पी अलौक को डोले तिमिर की घोर छाया. I mean, I can recite the entire poetry. I won't take your time, but it's a poetry that's very close to my heart. But you get the point. It's not just Hindi. It's in Bengali. It's in Marathi. It is in Odia. It is in Rajasthan, Marwadi. It is in Tamil, Malayalam, Kannada. Every single language that has originated in India has this beautiful, characteristic. Now we'll come back to this. The first slide. Does the Morse code make sense now? You want to try the na again for this one now? Let's go. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. भगवती हे शिति कंठ कुटुंबिनी भूरि कुटुंबिनी भूरि कृते जय जय हे महिषासुर मर्दिनी रम्य कपर्दिनी शैलसुते. So this is Sanskrit's greatest gift to us, a legacy of rhythm and poetry. It teaches us that language is not just about communication, it's about expression, beauty and connection. The rhythms of Sanskrit and its descendant languages remind us that even in the mundane, there is music. Even in the functional, there is poetry. Let us preserve and cherish this rhythm of our languages, for they are not just sounds, they are the very heartbeat of our culture. Thank you, guys.
What a melodiously insightful addition to the event, Mr. Anantram. We thank you deeply for sharing your perceptive and cultivated perspective with us here today. I would like to take the opportunity to invite on stage Literary Head Ayush Purohit and Co-Head Anika Nair to felicitate Mr. Anantram. Thank you, Literary Heads.